Welcome to the House by the Cemetery panel here at HorrorHound. I'm Art Ettinger from Ultraviolent Magazine, and we're going to start out by having each of the members of the esteemed panel introduce themselves.
Hello to everybody, I'm Dagmar Lassander.
Thanks for coming, everyone. I'm Carlo De Mejo.
Hi everybody, it's lovely to be here. I'm Catriona MacColl. Hi, it's Silvia Collatina.
Hello everybody, Giovanni Frezza.
Hi, I'm Mike Baronas from Power Productions, bringing together this 30th anniversary reunion of House by the Cemetery. Thank you for being here.
In a little bit, we'll open up to questions from all of you, but Mike and I have some questions for the esteemed panel. I would like to start by asking Giovanni and Silvia what it was like appearing in House by the Cemetery at such a young age.
But a different feeling and a different experience. It was very fun and a joke from one side. From the other side, there was a mixture of tension, excitement. I didn't act first in a movie or in a big movie like House by Cemetery. And I remember very well when I arrived in Boston, that was the start of the set for me. And I met Silvia. She was acting one scene before me. And she was getting all these compliments and congratulations by the director. And so I was so scared because I had to just act later and say to be at least as she was. So this was a funny story. And my phone is ringing.
I must say that it's been a great pleasure for me to act together with him. I thought he was very good at acting. It was so real. It was. And I enjoyed myself staying there, and I was not scared at all. I mean, it was a joke, and I was very fond of horror ever since. So I loved even when was seeing the special effects, and the more splatter it was, the more I was happy. I'm normal anyway, I'm a normal person, and I was. And so it was a joke, but it was very professional as well. So, very good experience.
I wanted to ask, you did mention the special effects, but I'm assuming your parents were on set, and what were their thoughts? I mean, was Lucio protective of you with all the gory scenes? I mean, some of the scenes in the film are beyond disturbing, so.
So Lucio was a character, was a very different personality, and I remember that every day everybody was hoping that was a good day for Lucio. I remember that. So in the high of 8 years old boy, it was sometimes tough to deal with the movie. Regarding the special effect, was really great. It was 1981, so there was not this. It was a prehistoric era for special effect, but they were really well done. I spent a lot of time behind the scenes and stay with the guy that he was preparing the plots, he was preparing the mask, the makeups. It was really interesting. And I remember the experience I had when I saw the movie assembled together. It was a completely different experience. I was scared. So I was putting together these different pieces.
I really loved special effects, and I loved. And I was very fascinated by special effects ever since. And I remember that we were in a room together with the special effect maker, and I saw something in the corner. I opened the door, and there was the head of Anya Pironi down there shouting, and I wanted to take it at home. I love it. But they didn't want, of course.
Do you remember the bats that were flying around? and also the net. This was this guy, he was called Bombardone, he was his name. Gino Di Rossi. But everybody was calling him Bombardone. And was a really an ancient way to create this net with a kind of fan that was creating this net all around. Yeah.
Everybody on this panel worked with Lucio Fulci on more than one occasion. You're all people who worked with him more than once. And Dagmar, you have a very interesting story involving something that occurred at an airport in conjunction with you appearing in Lucio Fulci's The Black Cat. Would you like to share that story?
Well, I wasn't afraid at all at the set, but Lucio Fulci, when I went to London to do The Black Cat, that was really terror at the airport, because there was a snowstorm going on, and we arrived quite late in the night. And then all of a sudden the luggage, all the police around, everybody had to say, this is my luggage. And so that took 1 hour, 2 hours. At the end there was one luggage, and the policeman told me, is this your one? I said, yeah, it's mine. And he said, what? Would you please open? What's going on there? And I watched, there was a big lake of blood. And I said, oh my goodness. I opened the luggage, and I had a pack, the production has been wrong. Would you mind to take that over to London? I said, well, I'm sorry, I don't know what this is. I mean, that's, the production. I have to do a film. Oh, they said, and the guy took me, the policeman here, a film you have to do. I said, yeah. I said, it was a black cat, mummified cat, which was not permitted to enter into UK. And they had a fake blood thing there inside, a plastic bag. This blood was running out. It was a big story. And I reached something like 0 o'clock in the night in the hotel. Oh, there was Lucio Fulci film at the airport.
Another question for Giovanni. Those of you who have seen the many films that Giovanni appeared in as a child, including Blade in the Dark, Manhattan Baby, he didn't seem to age. Year after year, he was identical. And I'm wondering, did you go through puberty when you turned 30? What happened?
Yes. No, thanks. That was, I don't know, genetic. I didn't change so much before 14 years old. And what I have to say, yes. I don't know. But I was without age or smaller than my age. I was, when I made Manhattan Baby, the actress was Brigitte Boccoli. She is my age, and she was 30 centimeters taller than me. So she was doing the older sister, I was doing the younger brother, even if it was completely same age for us.
But now perhaps she looks older.
Yes.
I wanted to ask what your memories of filming, most of the exteriors of the film were filmed in Massachusetts. What's your memories of filming outside of my great city?
Boston.
Goodness me. Memories of filming in Massachusetts, particularly. Well, I mean, they're good memories. In fact, I have less wicked or wild stories to tell about House by the Cemetery than I have on the other two films. Possibly it was because I got used to Lucio by then, so nothing, I was ready for anything, nothing seemed particularly strange anymore. But I have very good memories. I mean, the house was extraordinary. You shot inside the house, no? One shot from the window? Because I don't think I ever went inside. In actual, I must have done, because I must have come out and gone in. But we certainly didn't explore the house. It was a pretty spooky house, actually. Outside and inside.
Because when I entered the house and I saw a giant picture of Larry Hagman inside, and so
well, that's spooky too. You know, it was kind of house you didn't particularly want to go into. Although I have been back there last year for the first time in 30 years with my friend Mike, and we did a little filmed interview, which I'm sure you're going to be able to see one of these days. And that was a moving experience, because it looks more or less exactly the same, because after all it could have been razed to the ground. It's just painted some very bright colors. It seemed much more friendly as a result. Perhaps it was because Lucio wasn't there. I don't know. But so I don't have any particularly crusty stories to tell about. It was it's a lovely part of the world, Massachusetts. It's very beautiful. So I don't know if anybody else has a crusty story about the house. And you know, we all got on very well anyway. Paolo Di Malco, who should have been here this weekend, unfortunately isn't. Oh, and we had a lot of laughs on these films, despite everything. Mostly good memories for me, some bad, mostly good.
I have a question for all of you. As a director, Lucio Fulci was notorious for having a bad reputation with some actors and actresses. There's legends of him making actresses cry. We heard a story at a recent convention from Luca Venantini that as a child actor he was slapped by Lucio Fulci on set. Did any of you see this side of Lucio?
during the scene, while I'm looking at the mannequin, the model of Anya Perroni's falling. I didn't, there was anything in front of me. I had to image, and I didn't even care over that, so I didn't manage to cry at all. I mean, and it was very angry with me. It's going, you had to. I was so scared, and I started crying and didn't stop. And what you saw, what you see in the movie, it was real, but because I was really scared by him, made me cry.
And that was quite common to have this kind of feeling. Lucio was, I don't know if he was pressing on us just to try to have more natural emotion coming from the head, or because he was like, just like this. And I never understand which is the truth, but I cried also one time. It was this anecdote that I can. We were recording the interior side. So the house by cemetery, the exterior part has been recorded in Massachusetts, but the interior part has been done in the theater, De Paulis in Rome. So in this theater there was a lot of different sets with other movie going on, and there was also popular actor coming. And there was an actor in Italy is doing comedy, trash comedy. So I was just not working that time, and I saw him. I went to ask for a sign, for an autograph. And when I was back, Lucio started to scream with me. Are you stupid? What are you crazy? What are you asking for? You are much better than him. And so I was feeling so small, and I said, I didn't do anything wrong. So other people were trying to comfort myself, but it was not stopping. And so I went up, I started to cry, I come back after 2 hours. So it was one of, and some other time he was looking at me saying, wow, you are ugly. So, before recording, before the chat, you have these eyes that are. So I was start thinking, what? And so I start to be sad, and probably was trying to get the best emotion.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Oh. No, because I want to answer Art on this, and Silvia and Giovanni, because probably Lucio, in that case, wanted something on the screen that was good for the film. But then again, my experience with Lucio himself, of course, it couldn't, maybe it wasn't easy, he was grumpy at times, but I imagine he was looking for the next scene, or the way to imagine new ventures or new emotions. But I always had very good feel for him, and everything worked out well. So also to answer what you were saying, Art, to me, and Catriona believes thinks the same, and so does Dagmar. Very good rapport, nothing to say on leaks of any kind of hurt feelings or things. I adore the man, and I had fun with him. You go around with a cigar in his mouth, preparing the soup and looking at him. He's on the right. You said the right word to me yesterday, Dagmar, that he's maybe grumpy sometimes.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
yes.
his way. He was a little lover, as I said. Now, well, I don't agree basically about these directors. They want a sad actor on the screen, so first they start to scream on that. I guess with children, it's something different, because when they're so small, basically they don't know, understand what they're supposed to act over there. Still though, with me, Fulci did not do that, so I don't know. But I used to have a terrible director. There was Femi Marinens, the film, the Italian guy, Piero Zappa. I was not a child, I was grown up, adult. It was not my first film. And the guy wanted me really bloody, and they kept, and then I got bloody here, and he said, I'm sorry, but this is, no, it's better, don't worry, it's better that way. And everything, he really wanted to hurt me. There was a stuntman for me in the swimming pool with this, no, he said, it's better you, because it hurts you. That I don't agree with that. Maybe it was children, but it's not, I think it's not necessary that. So.
I think I've told this story many times, so I don't want to bore everybody, but the particular time where I saw the more sadistic side of Lucio was the famous worm scene, not in House by the Cemetery, but in Gates of Hell. And then I felt he was capable of being pretty sadistic. And I also had a very good rapport with him, and I think I was really upset that he could go that far with me, because he'd never done it before. And there was a moment when it was the close-up, in fact. The long shot was okay because basically it was rice that was being blasted at us. But the close-up, and I was the last to do it because I really didn't want to do it. But I believe that when you read the script and you sign the contract, you have to do it if it's written in the script. Otherwise, you should say you don't want to do it before. If you're asked to do something that's not written in the script, then you can refuse. So I knew I had to go through it, and they gave me. I wasn't drunk, but I did have 2 cognacs before I did the shot. I suppose that helped a little bit, and this wonderful. Is it Gianetto or Gino, the makeup? Gianetto. Yeah, he could see I was getting in a state, and so he stuck my T-shirt down on my arms and here, and stuck all my clothes down so that I would know that these worms could not get in. I had a few nightmares about them afterwards anyway, and he put this transparent kind of cream on my face so that I knew there was a mask between me and the worms. But still, when we came to do the shot, Lucio took great pleasure in just letting the camera turn, and I knew that he had enough material, but he just let it turn and let it turn and let it turn. So I was kind of crying too by the end of the scene, but with rage really against him, rather than being frightened. So yeah, I did see the darker side of Lucio occasionally.
Well, the worms I saw in London, the worms. There was this girl she had to enter, and the worms.
Yeah.
I said, why you want her to to use this animals here.
Yes. He loved the worms, huh?
But you know, now we have all these reality shows, in the television, and people go for money. They go there, they stay, I don't know, 2 months in a house, and then they put them in a cage with snakes and all that stuff. So this is, now they do it.
Maybe they were, he was avant-garde, in fact. Yeah, maybe they got inspired by it. He's inspired a lot of people, after all.
Well, the person we have to thank for all of these guests being here is Mike Baronas from Power Productions. And Mike made a DVD over the course of several years called Power Lucio Fulci Remembered Volume 1, where he traveled the world and tracked down some people who hadn't been spoken to since they appeared in these films. I was wondering if you could talk briefly about that project, Mike, and if you have one of your favorite stories about someone who you located who was very challenging to locate.
Yes, I believe I was working with Media Blasters at the time. They sent us over to do audio commentaries and interviews for their Shriek Show line of European Euro horror titles. In downtime, I was also working on a book on Lucio, which has since gone by the by, but I always asked one final question on camera when I could: what is your fondest memory of Lucio? And that's what my DVD's based on, primarily now. I'm working on a part 2 right now. But it was a great experience, and through that I met all these great folks, stayed in touch with them over the years, and here we are in our next stage of working together and coming to meet all the fans here in the States. I mean, I know it's an eye-opening experience for especially Dagmar and Giovanni, who have not done a convention before. Just to see what it's like in America and what we enjoy and how popular these movies are. I remember going over there quite a few times, and you want to talk to me about what? What? That horrible movie? I mean, yes, we love it in America. Really? And I'm not the only one, and that's why I'm showing everybody I'm not the only one. But yes, I'll say it on camera, Catriona, to embarrass you. When I was 15 years old, I saw The Gates of Hell. I rented it. It was drawn by the box cover art. And I've had a crush on Catriona MacColl since I was 15. And
Your dream came true?
yes. And in meeting her, it was just a surreal day. It took a long time to locate her. She didn't want to be located for the most part. These films were something she put in her past, which happens quite often with actors and actresses. But we did track her down, and she finally agreed. We met her, and it was such a surreal day when I went to a little restaurant that she owned at the time.
It's a little village that's quite...
Little village, yes. We took a bus and a horse and to get there, and here walks Catriona MacColl out with a strawberry smoothie for me.
Yeah.
And it was just such a surreal day that this woman, that's one of my fondest stories of locating these folks. But I mean, it's been such a pleasure to know each and every one of you and continue to work together. For me, meeting Catriona was a wonderful experience. But the best meal, actually probably the best meal I've ever had in my life, was cooked by Dagmar Lassander at her gorgeous house in Rome. Oh my God. We had a wonderful dish that my partner at the time, Kit Gavin, still makes to this day for his friends. And thank you. I can't wait to come back and...
Pasta with Parmesan cheese, egg yolk.
Parmesan cheese, egg yolk, lemon.
Lots of lemon.
I hope you're writing it down for the recipe. Dagmar Lassander's lemon pasta. That'll be my next project, the recipes of the Euro horror stars.
Recipes of the Living Dead.
Recipes of the Living Dead.
Very famous in Rome.
Not spaghetti horror.
Spaghetti horror. Mike and I could ask questions for hours and hours, but there's several dozen people in this room. Perhaps you have questions for the esteemed panel?
What's the recipe?
I asked this earlier. Giovanni, but I've got to ask for everybody here. In House by the Cemetery, Bob, your character, has the worst English dubbed voice in film history. So much so that I hated your character and hoped he would die.
Yeah.
So could you explain what the hell happened and how you are not responsible for that?
I had the treatment for the voice. And, no, I'm joking. It was not me. Sorry, it was not my voice. It was dubbed for that. And I saw the dubbed version House by Cemetery only later in the years, so I was not aware about that voice and what was on me and was. So I really want to say sorry. It's not my fault.
And I would just like to say, it just shows you how much a character can be changed. You know, it's very unfair towards, ruined, well, not completely ruined, because he's so cute, but, it just shows you the power of the voice, and, you can end up hating a character that you're supposed to love just because they've changed the voice. So it's very unfair, isn't it, towards actors and actresses?
You actually dub yourself, Catriona. Very, very often, the English-speaking actors and actresses did not dub themselves. What was the dubbing experience like for you?
Didn't they? You mean what?
You dubbed your own voice.
Yes.
It wasn't shot with sync sound.
No, it was shot with a what do you call it? just a model sound. What was the question? What's it like?
What was the experience like dubbing the entire film?
Oh, well, I mean, I love dubbing. I'm just one of those people that likes dubbing. And B, it was a satisfying experience because at least I knew in the English version my character would have my voice. I mean, in actual fact, I live in France, I speak fluent French, but they didn't know that at the time, so they dubbed the films with a French actress, and that's a bit of a shame, because it's always difficult to see a performance that you've given, however good the actor is, because this is with all due respect to actors that dub. I mean, I've done it myself, so it's not an easy thing to do, and you're getting inside somebody else. But anyway, to answer that question, my experience was pretty good, except that on the first film that I did with Lucio, City of the Living Dead, they decided that they wanted me to dub the film before I left Rome so that they didn't have to pay another ticket and a hotel for me to come back. But the problem was they hadn't chosen the shots. So I had to dub virtually every scene several times, and particularly the screams, because I did a lot of screaming. I really became a champion screamer, thanks to Lucio Fulci. And I love screaming. And so there I was in the dubbing studio, 12 takes, screaming. And of course, I didn't have any voice at the end of it. But so, yeah, I remember dubbing.
I just want to say that I had in the scene where I was shouting, that there is a moment that I feel something is happening to the family, and so I scream. I had to scream, and I say, why do I have to scream if I will be doubled? So I say just that. I don't want to waste my voice. I have to be doubled. So and he allowed me not to shout.
Lucky you.
On the scene with Giovanni where he's got his head up against the door before the axe comes through, how was that scene set up? I mean, was it planned, obviously, where the axe was going to pop through there?
Yes, this was a pretty scary, really scary part. Basically, Fulvio at the beginning was, Lucio at the beginning was thinking, they would put a sign, say, one man had to, yes, the stuntman, try to just beat the sign with the blade, and this was one part. The other, so the real camera was on me, and so there was Silvia that was his head.
Because no one, I don't know if everybody knows that I had two roles. One, it was and I was also the left hand of the monster. So he should hate me because I wanted to kill him.
So yes, the left hand of the monster first time was the Silvia hands. They made the calc, yes, the cast. But on the chain, Silvia had to put my head against the door. And in the meantime, the stuntman had to hit the blade on the exactly. And so I had to remain very freeze, I can say. Then the change was too dangerous. So they create a kind of tool that is a kind of a spring that was beating the mark exactly in that point. There was still some risk because I was anyhow there with his hand, her hand on my face, and I had to maintain exactly, and the blade was coming like that. So it was pretty. We made this twice, and that's it.
Yeah, it was exactly the same process for me in the coffin in the city, exactly the same. And even though you knew that it was going to come in the same place, it was still really scary because you thought if it goes wrong, that's me gone.
Yes, I feel also some responsibility for my life on me because I had to stay freeze without any move. It was me. So, but we made it at the end. I'm here. My nose is a little bit short, but it's.
Catriona, I'd like to know a similar question, but about you being dragged backwards down the steps.
Catriona dragged down the steps. What was that like?
What was it like? Oh, it was great fun. No. Well, I seem to remember that it was, I think it was the last day of shooting, actually. So there was a certain amount of jubilation that, the last day of shooting, in the Paoli studios. It was possibly one of the last shots of the film, in fact. So there was a certain amount of jubilation because we were all going to go home afterwards, after this incredible experience. But in fact, it was, I'm glad that the scene is so effective because I often get asked questions about it. And in actual fact, it was much easier than it looks. It wasn't painful in any way because these wonderful stuntmen who despite everything, were wonderful. He had cushioned the stairs for me with a kind of foam which you can't see, and I kind of enjoy these more physical scenes as well. So it was up to me to hang on to the staircase in a certain way and bounce my own head down the stairs. And I don't know if you know this, but to let you in on a secret, I actually only went down 3 stairs. They just doubled the shot. So it looks like I'm going down and down and down, but in fact I only did it 3 times. But yeah, another one of those challenges that I wanted to pull off, and apparently we pulled it off. I saw it again yesterday, and it does look pretty good, actually. Yeah. No, it didn't hurt at all. No, because there was this sponge on the stairs, and also I was kind of cheating slightly. I was, holding the weight of my body with my arm, and I was just touching the stairs, so it didn't hurt at all. But I'm glad that it looks like it does.
I have a question. For each of the people on the panel, what has it been like coming, or being in America and seeing and meeting the fans of these films that you did 30 years ago that you didn't think people would probably ever watch a couple years after they were made, let alone 30 years later? What's the experience been like discovering that people have loved you and loved your work in these movies, and what's it been like interacting with a whole new legion of admirers these many years later?
Thank you. For the, I want to step.
I'm very happy. When people say, I'm glad to meet you, and I reply, I'm glad to meet you too, because it's a pleasure for me, and without you, we wouldn't be here. So thank you.
Well, I think when you're young, you work a lot, you hurry around, maybe you don't, you do appreciate that public likes you, loves you, you're thankful for that, but you don't have all the time to think about. And now in my age, to figure out that after all these years, there are people which like to see it, to tell you their interest, they like it. And it seems unbelievable to me. It's touching, you know, because now in my age you start to live a little bit more in the past. You know, you have your rest and you think of your past life. So this becomes really chilling. I mean, to realize that people still think of you, they see you. It's lovely. It's a great feeling. I'm thankful for that, really. Thanks a lot, but it's a wonderful feeling. I would tell my little grandchildren, they should learn and never forget their granny.
Yes, I bounce off what Dagmar's just said. I would say it's actually a really moving experience, particularly when it's 30 years later, and particularly, as you said, when I don't think any of us thought these films would live on for more than a year or two. Especially, I thought they wouldn't be seen outside Italy, and it's fantastic. I mean, these conventions just don't take place in Europe like this. Anyway, they do to a certain degree, but on a much smaller level. So it is mind-boggling for us to come over here, and it's not the first time I've done it, and now I'm meeting people for maybe the second or third time, so I feel like they're friends, and it's very moving to see the love that you all give to these films. We just wish Lucio was here to witness it as well. No, it's extraordinary. Thanks for coming. Please carry on coming. Carry on loving these films. Long may they live.
Okay, I go. Well, I can only confirm. I can confirm only what my sweet Catriona says. What Dagmar has said, because this is our work. It's a job for us. We appreciate it. We love our work. Dagmar loves her work. So does Catriona. I did Paula, for instance. I did the films with Lucio with great love. Little did I know they would turn out as they did, and that you loving them, that I would get a chance to travel, come back, and talk about him again, loving him as I did as a professional master of horror, which he started with the Commedia all'Italiana, all the different aspects of things, and then he threw himself into this experience. I got to meet extraordinary actors, and I met extraordinary people, and besides, meeting you, you're here now looking and watching, and it's touching, as Dagmar said, it really is touching. I'm so grateful that you love us, you love the film, and I'm really moved, I'm really so happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes, this is my first convention, and my first reaction was how many people. I was so surprised that there was all this fun and people like you interested in this movie. And this gave me the chance to, because this experience, I put this in the past. And for several years, I never touched it again. It was like something happened that was there. Then thanks to Mike, that he pushed on me, and also Silvia, to come several times, and finally I had the chance. I'm so very glad to be here, to meet you, and to share this that is a simple part of my life, my experience when I was young. And just simply and very friendly, I love that. Thank you very much.
I just would like to say that isn't it ironical? It is down to you that all of us have met again 30 years later. We have to come to America to do that. So thank you.
I just want to say two things, and one is that Lucio Fulci, I think that Lucio Fulci didn't have a good esteem of Anya Peroni. Anya Peroni was the babysitter in the movie. So there is this scene while I'm killing her, I'm throating her. No, I'm cutting her throat. Sorry. So, yeah, with my hand. And it was not supposed to be me, but it was Freudstein, my father perhaps. And she didn't scream at all. I mean, somebody is killing you. You have a monster in front of you, and you don't do anything. She was not real. She didn't any reaction. She didn't have any reaction. She didn't react. So we had to do that scene 3 or 4 times. And as I cannot say that I hate her, but so I was happy to kill her. Yes. And,
She's not here. They can say it. Maybe you don't know you're so beautiful.
Lucio Fulci didn't have a great reputation, according to me. I think, as far as I'm concerned. No, she was not very good at acting, Anna Pironi, no, definitely. She deserved that end. Sorry, I hope she doesn't hear what I'm saying. And another is that lots of fans ask me what's the meaning of the movie, how the movie ends. And I have an interpretation, a personal one. I think it's the correct one. I want to sound too proud of saying that, but I think it's the right one. I think that Giovanni, I say Giovanni, and he comes in my world, that is the world of dead people, in a parallel dimension. He keeps on being alive, but it's as if he were dead. He was dead, and Freudstein will always live in the basement. That's the end.
This is the reason why. This is the reason why I was always the same, and without age. Yeah.
What about me?
And Silvia too.
They've got it right, haven't they?
Well, thank you very much for coming.